going on with my spiritual family? It's a whole new wave of light. Grab that surfboard, it's a whole new wave. Hope everyone's loving themselves today. Just being authentic. The bottom line message of this is to really just show up to what makes you happy. Simply just showing up to what makes you passionate will make you feel better, will boost your self-esteem, will raise your confidence. Because really how I'm seeing it right now is sometimes on the external, on the outside, it can look so gloomy. It can look so just, everything is down in the dumps. You feel like everything is just caving in on you, crumbling. And this is me just kind of speaking on my spiritual journey. Like, this is the path I'm on, just the perspective from it. What I feel like the universe is showing me right now is just being content with myself, my own energy. And a lot of times, we feel like we're alone. We feel like nobody gets us. We feel like we're just with ourselves. But I want you to know that you're in the best position you could ever possibly be in. Know that everything happens for a reason. Nothing happens just by coincidence. Like, oh, like it happens. You'll see. Because we're able to connect the dots. And it's just, I'm starting to see it's just for our own evolution, our own growth. Not only physically, but spiritually, mentally as well. It's good to just keep that equilibrium, keep that balance between your mind, body, and soul. And ways we can do this is just mindfulness, just mindful breathing, meditation, yoga, stretching, working out, anything that'll really just get you. We all have we all have a way to lift ourselves up. And I don't even want to say I anymore because we're all one. Now, I'm in one of those spots in this journey where it's kind of a shaky spot. It feels a little shaky, a little bumpy, but you can see it as like I'm transcending out of this old programming, out of this egoic type of thinking. Really, I'm just returning back to my true self, returning back to my authenticity. I was like, we cannot care what other people think about us. I'm starting to see it's just a false subconscious program. It's a false subconscious program to really care, to shame ourselves, to guilt ourselves. Like, we're not supposed to, just how X said, man, he said this perfectly. We're not supposed to be alone and just beat ourselves up even more. We're not supposed to be alone and just destroy ourselves in a sense. Like, being alone in a way, or solitude, you could prefer it as, is just like everything kind of has a pro and a con, but how I'm starting to see it is it's making me go more inward. I mean, sometimes everyone wants to just be extroverted a little bit, talking to people, just, you know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to do that. But how I'm starting to see is like when we really stick up for ourselves, when we really believe in ourselves and no one else does. I'm talking like you and you in that room alone. You got to look in that mirror and say, like, I'm not giving up. Like, that's what I say to myself. Like, even this morning, like, even making this video, like, I knew this was going to be something. Just doing something you're passionate about is going to lift you back up. We all have those times where we just feel like we're just, like, droopy, a little bit caved in. But just look at it. It's just the mind really trying to interfere, the egoic mind trying to interfere. Just stay present, stay in tune with just the sense of pure awareness. Just know that you have really infinite potential inside you. You're able to do anything you put your mind to. Like, when everyone says that, I'm not saying just talk about something and just tell other people, like, oh, do this, do that. Like, you got to really be an example, because energy speaks for itself, character speaks for itself, and you just got to be a living example of what you preach. And that alone is just what I'm trying to do. Like, life is too short, man. Life is too short to really be down in the dumps, to be fighting with people, to be mad, to just feel frustrated and shit. Like, look at it as just, it comes and goes. If it arrives, you can leave. Look at it as just like a little loop. Like, we can just be the observer of these thoughts. And when we move to that state of being, like that type of presence that just looks down and just sees those type of things, like, just observe it. Don't attach it. I'm even speaking from my own perspective. Like, trust me, I did this. It happens. We get a negative thought loop. We get a negative thought. We get something that we don't want to, like, to identify with in an egoic sense. Because you can look at your ego as that voice that's like all separated. Oh, me, oh, why is this happening to me? I don't get this. Like, no, like freaking out and shit. But really, your higher self is really, that's the real you. Now, your higher self does not really get too stirred up, does not get too irritated when it comes to those type of things. I just know, rest in your own being, find the stillness. There's something about the stillness. It's in the silence too. There's something about that stillness. It really just brings you back in touch with just your being, your spirit, your energy. You're able to just observe what is going on. Like, I'm just speaking through my own perspective. Like, I really know what it's like to be all uppity up. Like, oh shit, like thinking too much or just being in here too much. You gotta kind of get out and just in the present. It's like when you're in the moment, you're not gonna think about all those other things. So just look at it as the ego is in a way just a defense mechanism to protect us, survival type of shit. Just look at it like that, as it's just those lower chakras, like the root chakra, like fight or flight, like. But it's no, you really have all the strength you need inside you. Don't give up. You're not alone. You're never alone. I'm speaking to this to people who really resonate and can actually absorb it and take it in. Just know you're not by yourself. Whatever you're going through, whatever's taking place, trust the process. Trust the universe that it's going to align perfectly, because it will. The universe never, there's no mess ups when it comes to that type of stuff. Just believe in yourself. It's okay to fail. I want people to know that it's okay to actually mess up and fail. The problem is that we try to be perfect so much. We try to perfect everything that we end up just fucking up our own flow, our own rhythm. That's what I'm saying. Like, it should be natural. You gotta make it to the point where it's just naturally a part of you. You're not tripping about nothing. You're not overthinking. Because trust me, I know what that over analytical stuff is like, especially as like an empath. I'm just real sensitive, real intuitive to what is around me. Sometimes I overanalyze on my environment and surroundings and let it, in a way, identify me. But you gotta know, like, this is your vessel, bro. This is your container. Sometimes you just gotta step back and just feel comfortable in your own skin. Know that you're protected. Know that you're straight in your own being. Just always remember that. Best thing you can do is show up for your purpose. Best thing you can do is to not give up. There's gonna be a lot of doubters. There's gonna be a lot of haters. There's gonna be a lot of people saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, what are you talking about? You're crazy. What? Like, it's a test, man. Look at it as just a simple test from the universe. Like, it's testing us. It's testing us whether we really want it bad enough to be independent, to be on our own, to just stick up for yourself. It's not even about the materialistic stuff. It's not about the views. It's not about the numbers. It's not about how many followers. How much can this post go viral? Can it blow up? Like, things like that. Like, you'll see that just being genuine, being authentic, and being yourself in general is going to attract you the right things, the right people, the right opportunities, circumstances. It's going to actually, you're going to attract what is meant for you when you let go and just cut it off. Like, I was looking into something yesterday, like that Taoism, like learning how you just let go of things and really just almost flow with it. Like, don't let it just consume you. Don't let it just weigh you down, like pull you down. You're just like, oh, I feel like you feel like you're fighting invincible forces, bro. But it's really just the mind. It's really just the egoic mind trying to knock on the door. But there's no, you're the observer of that. You're the observer. The pure awareness is watching. Observe it. Don't absorb it. Acknowledge it. And just let it come up to the surface. I feel like, and let me know if you resonate with this, I feel like along the journey when you push things down, when you try to suppress it, it's going to come back, bro. It's going to come back up, and it's like it gets more intense and intense and intense when you don't listen to that intuition, when you don't listen to that higher mind. So just know there is a lower self, there is a higher self. You get to, I mean, it's in our hands. We have the free will. We can either choose to listen to it or we can choose to disregard it and just take shit for granted. Like, we cannot take things for granted no more. Be grateful, man. Be grateful just for even waking up, able to even have what you have, able to do what you do. And that shit is just so facts. Like, what I'm starting to see is like when we chase things, when we really just put all of our goals on a pedestal, like it's just something so damn, like we can never obtain it, or it's just like, oh, it's so hard to get. You see how we're just labeling that? Like, no, it's already natural. It's already a part of you. You already are successful. You already are abundant, prosperous, wealthy, all these things. You just have to acknowledge it. And it's like, I was looking at that God realization. That God realization is really just seeing like that divine power that God or Goddess sits deep inside of us, and it's like a force you can't see physically. It's not something that's just gonna like, oh, like pop up. Like, it's within you, man. It's really deep inside your soul. All of us have something to give. All of us have something to do that makes us happy and that helps other people. So just look at it as like a win-win. Don't let your environment, don't let your situation make the best of you. Don't let it pull you under. Know that it's just a test to get stronger. And this is what the universe does sometimes, bro. It puts us through different sequences, different experiences. But like I always say, in every bump in the road, there's something to attain. Every downfall, anything that happens, there's always something to learn. There's always a lesson to learn when it comes to a lot of this shit. That's just what I'm starting to see. Keep the faith, keep the hope, and you just gotta really push out that ego, because I'm right with you in this transition. It's like I'm trying to really step into my full divinity, step into my full power. A lot of people don't even get what I'm doing. So that's how much you really gotta believe in yourself. That's how much you gotta really have your own back. It's behind those closed doors in that dark room where you really find yourself. It's behind that closed door in that room where you self-discover really what the hell is in you, and you're like, holy shit, this is some major, this is something powerful. And it's really an energy, an infinite energy that is in all of us. But just don't give up. Go inward. It's okay. Sometimes you just gotta destimulate our mind, like stimulation. Like, we just want it so much. Like, like, whoa. Just destimulate, detach for a second. And I heard this good saying, detach, rethink, refine. Like, just keep going back and forth. Just, it's like a, how can I say it metaphorically? It's like creating like a vase or something. Like, you know those clay pots that people just put their hands on it? Like, you're just like shaping it. You're just molding it. Look at that as you. Like, the biggest project you will work on is you, deadass. Just think about it. There's no one else that can do what you do. There's no one else that has the same, just, we're all our own unique divine expression. That is the one thing that I really want to share. Like, I'm sick of seeing people just trying to be something they're not. And just look at it as that was really just implanted in your mind. It really wasn't even yours to begin with. So just believe in yourself. Don't give up. Radiate that energy. Have that magnetic flow. And be an example to other people. Shine your light, bro. Speak for people who can't even say anything. Speak for the people that are just have the blinds over. They don't even want to. You already know. But just be the example. Simply step into that version you want to become. Trust the process. Trust what is going on, even if it doesn't make sense, because we already know. Sometimes you just got to remind yourself how much of a badass you really are. How strong you really are. Look at all the shit you made it through. I know we've all been through some crazy shit, but damn, happened for a reason. You couldn't even be as strong as you are spiritually, mentally, physically, if you didn't even go through that. So just look at it. There's always some sort of give and go. There's always something happening behind the scenes, even if we don't consciously always see it. So just trust what's happening. Believe in yourself always. Do what makes you happy. It's time we just stop caring what people think. It's bullshit. It's the ego. And I'm trying to, like, I know people are like, well, you have to have an ego. You have to have that. I want you to listen to yourself. Only you know what's best for you. And I'm speaking for someone, like, trust me. I said that, like, I stood firmly with that shit, and you'll see people just start to fall away. You'll see things just start to dissolve away. You will attract the people meant for you. So just don't lose that hope. Don't lose that faith. It's a whole new wave of light. You already know. Namaste. I see the God in you. You see the God in me. We are all one. And just know everything happens for a reason. You already know it's a whole new wave. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's your boy, we signing out. Wow. Sending all that good energy. Let's get it.